emergency. The Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA) has directed commercial transport operators using illegal parks and roadside loading points across Abuja to relocate to destination bus terminals or face enforcement actions. Speaking with journalists in Abuja, the mandate secretary of the administration's Transportation Secretariat, Chinindum Elechi, said all unauthorized loading points will be shut down, while vehicles that fail to comply with the directive will be impounded. According to him, transport operators have been instructed to begin operating from the FCTA's ultra-modern bus terminals, starting with the facility in Mabushi. Over now to the Nigerian Labour leaders have expressed concern over the worsening economic conditions confronting workers, saying rising inflation and the cost of living have eroded the value of workers' earnings. The Labour leader stated this at the Nigerian Rights of Workers Summit 2026 held in Kebbi State to commemorate 88 years of workers' organizations and trade unionism in the country. Discussions at the event focused on workers' remunerations across the 36 states, local government, and private sectors as participants raised concerns over inflation, rise in living costs, workforce safety, discrimination, job insecurity, and the protection of casual and other non-traditional workers. The Nigerian Association of Medical and Dental Academics have issued the federal government a 3-week extension to include negotiations of its outstanding demands. And the association, in the communique issued in Uyo, threatened that failure by the government to conclude the negotiations within the period would result in a declaration of a strike, according to the communique, which is endorsed by the President, Dr. Nosa Orhe, and the Acting Secretary General, Professor Anekan Peter. The 3-week extension was adopted at the end of the association's emergency National Executive Council meeting. The West African Examinations Council (WAEC) has released the results of the 2026 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school graduates, with 61.54% of candidates obtaining credit in at least 5 subjects. The head of WAEC's national office, Dr. Amos Dangut, who announced the result during a press briefing in Lagos, said the 5 subjects include English and mathematics. Ubong Usoro tells us more.
According to WAEC, 1,959,668 candidates from 24,207 schools registered for the examination, while 1,950,726 candidates eventually sat for the exercise. The examination body said 1,200,514 candidates obtained credits in at least 5 subjects, including mathematics and English language, meeting the benchmark for admission into higher institutions. Dr. Amos Dangut disclosed that 1,834,695 candidates have had their results fully processed and released, while the results of 116,031 candidates are still being processed due to issues currently being resolved.
That have 5 credits in 5 subjects, irrespective of the subjects, amounted to 1,687,378 candidates.
WAEC also withheld the result of 167,486 candidates, representing 8.59% of those who sat for the examination, over alleged involvement in examination malpractice. The council attributed many of the reported cases to the use of mobile phones in examination halls and organized cheating in some schools, adding that investigations are ongoing.
Can within 12 hours access their results through this website, www.waecdirect.org. The result checker pins can now be generated via www.waec.ng.
WAEC further announced a new result-checking process, stating that candidates are now required to generate their result-checking pins online through the Council's digital certificate platform using their national identity number. The Council added that candidates whose results have been released can access them on the WAEC result portal and apply for their digital certificates. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News. According to WAEC, 1,009,000.
The National Youth Service Corps has disowned a viral notice claiming that a special window for Corps members' redeployment was open. The scheme flagged the notice on its verified X handle as fake. The fraudulent notice was addressed to parents, guardians, and claimed the redeployment window was now open. It urged Corps members with genuine grounds to apply on time to ensure their safety, proper placement, and timely completion of service. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has raised concerns over a suspicious credit into one of his private bank accounts, alleging that his confidential banking details may have been compromised. Atiku, who is a presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, disclosed this in a statement signed by his senior special assistant on public communications, Frank Shaibu. Atiku said the alleged access to his banking information raised broader concerns about the protection of Nigerians' financial privacy. With the Osun State governorship election fast approaching, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, has issued a strong warning to political actors and their supporters, declaring that the Nigeria Police Force will not tolerate any act culpable of undermining the electoral process. The police chief, who gave the warning in Abuja at a strategic meeting with political actors and civil society organizations, says anyone who incites or engages in violence will face the full weight of the law. Kikelomo Okere tells us more.
As preparation intensified for the off-cycle governorship election in Osun State, security has taken center stage. Members of the civil society organizations gathered in Abuja for a strategic engagement with Inspector General of Police to review the security architecture and strengthen collaboration ahead of the polls. Addressing the stakeholders, the Inspector General of Police, Olatunji Disu, delivered a firm warning to politicians, supporters, and other electoral actors, declaring that the police will not allow violence, intimidation, vote buying, ballot snatching, or any attempt to disrupt the democratic process. The police chief reaffirmed the force's commitment to a peaceful, free, fair, and credible election, stressing that officers and personnel deployed for the exercise will remain professional, impartial, and politically neutral throughout the electoral process. He assured residents of Osun State that comprehensive security measures have been put in place with adequate deployment of personnel and operational resources before, during, and after the election to guarantee the safety of voters, electoral officials, and election materials.
I took my time to talk to parents to warn their children. No election is worthy of losing your child in that election. And I still use this opportunity to warn them. We still have ample opportunity to call our children and talk to them. Elections will come and go.
Earlier, Executive Director of Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, Awa Rafsanjani, highlighted the expectation of civil society, urging security agencies to uphold professionalism while ensuring every eligible voter able to exercise the right to vote without fear or intimidation.
As civil society, we have met, we discussed, and we come up with some key important recommendations and suggestions on how we can be able to have free, fair, credible elections.
Also speaking, Executive Director of Yaga Africa, Samsi Itodo, emphasized the importance of sustained collaboration among security agencies, the electoral umpire, and the civil society groups to strengthen public confidence in the election. He outlined key recommendations, including prompt response to security threats, protection of electoral officials, and transparency throughout the voting process.
We need to publish and enforce some rules of engagement for the police, and
And we very think that it's important because it also helps us. Because sometimes when you observe elections, you cannot make a distinction between the real police officers and the fake police officers who are disrupting and undermining.
With only days to Osun governorship election, political campaigns have entered the final stretch. The Nigerian Police Force says it has activated a robust security strategy to safeguard lives and property, maintaining law and order, and ensure that every eligible voter is able to cast their ballot in peaceful, secure, and credible electoral environment. Chike Lomo Okere, Global TV News.
Over now to the Accord Party has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for directing the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to unfreeze Osun State Government's bank account, while demanding the immediate resignation of the chairman, Ola Olukayede. The national chairman of Accord, Maxwell Mbundu, made the demand at a World Press Conference held at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. The party said that if the commission's chairman failed to resign, Tinubu should sack him to restore the integrity of the anti-graft agency. You are watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Thank you for joining us. The atmosphere is already heavily saturated with a steady flow of moisture feeding into the country. Rainfall has been quite persistent. It's coming in waves, easing off briefly and then building up again. Now that's the same pattern we're seeing into Saturday. Expect a very active and busy morning across much part of the country, with rain already setting the tone early in the day. The northern region is likely to see more widespread and sustained rainfall alongside parts of the south-south and the southeast. Thunderstorms with moderate intensity are expected across the north and into parts of the north-central states, although conditions there won't be as intense. For the south, we are looking at light to moderate rainfall across the region to affect the southeast, the south-south, and parts of the southwest. So it's definitely a wet start to the day. Plan ahead, keep those umbrella closed, and stay weather aware. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Prime on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has welcomed Nigeria's formal admission as the newest national member committee of the World Energy Council, describing the development as a significant endorsement of the country's ongoing energy reforms and its growing leadership role in Africa's energy sector. The president said Nigeria's admission into the century-old global energy network, which comprises more than 100 countries, marks a proud moment for the nation and the position it is to play in a more influential role in shaping international discussions on energy security, equity, and sustainability. Tinubu declared that Nigeria intends to play a leading role in the global energy landscape. The National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, has introduced a new regulatory framework that will from October require bank, fintech companies, and other regulated organizations to source cloud infrastructure providers from a national register of certified firms approved to host sensitive financial and government data. The Certified Cloud Register, developed under NITDA National Sovereign Council Initiative, is expected to strengthen data sovereignty, improve regulatory oversight, and support the implementation of the Central Bank of Nigeria's data localization policy, which takes effect on January 1st, 2027. Now, under the framework, banks, fintechs, government institutions, and other regulated entities will be able to verify whether cloud service providers, data center operators, managed service providers, and artificial intelligence action to include trade facilitation, data management, and anti-smuggling activities, enforcement of anti-illicit financial flows, and environmental protection. According to figures released by the service, revenue collection rose from 3.21 trillion naira in 2023 to 6.105 trillion naira in 2024, and further increased to 7.27 trillion naira in 2025. The federal government has set a revenue target of 11 trillion naira for 2026. On the foreign news, the Chinese ambassador of Nigeria, Yu Demha, says Nigeria and China are leveraging the power of film and television to deepen bilateral relations, strengthen cultural diplomacy, and promote mutual understanding through strategic media collaboration. The ambassador made the remark at the China Cultural Center in Abuja during the signing of a landmark cooperation agreement between the China Movie Channel (CMC) and the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA). Ramsey Enoch Agbo tells us more.
Describing the agreement as another milestone in the enduring partnership between Nigeria and China, Ambassador Yu Donghai said both countries possess vibrant and globally recognized creative industry capable of driving stronger people-to-people ties, innovation, and economic cooperation through film and television. He says the cooperation agreement is expected to promote joint content production, cultural exchange, professional collaboration, and wider distribution of creative content between both countries.
China and Nigeria are both major players in the global film industry. China has more than 93,000 cinema screens. Nigeria's Nollywood is the world's second largest film industry, producing more than 2,000 films annually.
A permanent secretary, Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, Tourism and the Creative Economy, Abdul Karim Ibrahim, said sustained cultural exchanges have continued to strengthen friendship, mutual respect and cooperation between Nigeria and China.
That occasion is another testimony to enduring friendship and mutually beneficial partnership between the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the People's Republic of China.
Deputy General Manager of China International Press and Media Communications Limited, CIPMCL, Guan Hong, said the partnership aligns with efforts to promote greater cultural dialogue and international cooperation through media and storytelling.
Today, we gather with a shared aspiration to translate the profound mutual appreciation between our civilizations to tangible cooperation.
Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Salihu Abdul Mamid Dembos, described the agreement as a strategic partnership that will expand opportunities for co-production, capacity building, technology transfer, and content exchange. He said the collaboration further positions Nigeria's creative industry for greater global visibility while strengthening NTA's international partnership.
CMC and NTA Strategic Cooperation Agreement will provide a strong platform for content co-production, program exchange, professional training, technology transfer, and wider distribution of Nigerian and China creative works.
The agreement marks a significant step in the growing Nigeria-China strategic partnership and is expected to unlock new opportunities for media cooperation, cultural diplomacy, and creative industry development. Ramsey Enoch Agbo, Global TV News.
In a political era, as head of states, foreign dignitaries and high-profile guests converge on the city of Cali for the inauguration of President-elect Abelardo de la Espriella. The ceremony comes amid heightened security concerns as the countries grapple with its worst wave of violence in more than a decade. Anete Patrick has the details.
Presidents, diplomats and distinguished guests have begun arriving in Colombia ahead of the inauguration of President-elect Abelardo de la Espriella. The 48-year-old millionaire lawyer, a dual Colombian and United States citizen known for his conservative views and close political alignment with U.S. President Donald Trump, is set to be sworn into office in the southwestern city of Cali. The inauguration departs from tradition, as Colombia's presidential swearing-in ceremonies are typically held in the capital, Bogota. Holding the event in Cali is widely seen as a symbolic move aimed at projecting confidence and reaffirming government authority in a region long affected by insecurity. The ceremony is taking place close to territories where armed groups continue to operate, underscoring the country's complex security challenges. Those groups have fueled what analysts describe as the worst resurgence of violence Colombia has witnessed in over a decade. Authorities have mounted an extensive security operation across Cali and surrounding areas, deploying thousands of security personnel to safeguard visiting leaders, dignitaries, and residents during the historic event. The inauguration marks the beginning of a new administration that faces enormous expectations to restore security, tackle organized crime, revive the economy, and promote national reconciliation after years of political divisions and escalating violence. The presence of foreign leaders and international delegation is being viewed as a strong signal of global interest in Colombia's political transition and the direction of its new government. Anitie Patrick, Global TV News.
The humanitarian crisis in Yemen has deepened following a reported Houthi ballistic missile attack on the government-controlled city of Marib. The strike damaged the camp housing internally displaced persons, underscoring the growing risk facing thousands of civilians as fighting intensifies across the war-torn country. Sadia Yakubu tells us more.
Damage was recorded at the Mail Al-Saila Internally Displaced Persons or IDP camp on the outskirts of Marib after a reported Houthi ballistic missile struck the area in the early hours of today. Although casualty figures were not immediately available, the attack has heightened concerns over the safety of displaced families who have fled years of conflict and sought refuge in camps around the strategic city. The missile strike is the latest in the series of hostilities that have renewed tensions between Houthi forces and the internationally recognized Yemen government, despite repeated international calls for restraints and a return to dialogue. Marib remains one of the most fiercely contested regions in Yemen because of its strategic military and economic importance. The province divided between Houthi-controlled territory and the government-held areas. The Yemen government continues to control Marib city along with the surrounding oil and gas fields, power facilities, and key transport route assets regarded as critical to the country's energy sector and economic stability. Marib has also become a refuge for hundreds of thousands of internally displaced people who have fled violence from other parts of Yemen, making any attack on the area particularly alarming from a humanitarian perspective. The latest escalation is expected to further complicate relief efforts and deepen concerns over civilian protection as the conflict enters another volatile phase. Sadia Yakubu, Global TV News.
Sports news now. The Nigerian Premier League Football League (NPFL) will conduct the official fixture draw for the 2026-2027 season during its annual general meeting taking place in Ibadan, Oyo State. The meeting serves as the league's primary decision-making assembly, bringing together the league's board and club leadership to review the conducted campaign and rectify operational policies for the incoming season. Chairman of the league, Otumba Elegbeleye, highlighting the board's achievements over the past 4 seasons, pointing to the establishment of a consistent league calendar as a major milestone for Nigerian domestic football. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, here is a recap of our top stories again. The Nigerian Army has expanded its combat capability with the establishment of new division formations and unions aimed at improving operational responsiveness to the country's evolving security challenges. Business President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has welcomed Nigeria's formal admission as the newest national member of the Committee of the World Energy Council, describing the development as a significant endorsement of the country's ongoing energy reforms. Foreign Scene China Ambassador to Nigeria Yu Damaha says Nigeria and China are leveraging the power of film and television to deepen bilateral relations. And in sports, Nigerian Premier League football will conduct the official fixture draw of the 2026-27 season. And that's it on News Prime. Here's a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, Star Times channel 276, and Free TV. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.